Now you're on the Bet US caller line.
Yeah,
there
go ahead,
go.
Chris. Thank you.
Raj, hey guys, I just want to get your opinion on something. It's hypothetical. Let's say each of you was an AD for the remaining 8 schools. Like, let's say Craig was TCU. Let's do Smokey for Baylor, and Paul, let's have you do Oklahoma State. Where is your line in the sand for where you would feel right now? Would you feel like it's time to fire Bowlsby and move on? Would you feel like it's, ride with it the way it is? I'm wondering what your opinion is on Bowlsby and what you would do if you were the athletic director. And just one aside, it's not a politic thing, but just pray for those people in Afghanistan. I'd hate to be one of those people who get left behind.
No, no question about that. We brought that up a couple of times since all of that went down. Here's what I think: a transition now would be even worse. That's my opinion. And I know a lot of people don't trust Bob Bowlsby. They're mad at him or whatever. He does have a lot of experience. I do know he's leaning on some of the ADs, maybe some more than others. I would stick with him, and then I would say, Bob, get us through this mess, and then we'll decide, based on how you get us through this mess, if at the end of it it's good, whether or not you remain the commissioner. I'd put him on the spot. I wouldn't be cruel about it, but that's what I would say.
I don't think firing him right now does you any good. It actually probably puts you behind the 8 ball a little bit. But I do think that ultimately you're going to have to sit him down and go, okay, what's the future? And I don't think Bob Bowlsby's future in the Big 12 is very long term. I think they'll probably have another one. So,
well, if I'm TCU, I'm feeling okay about the possibilities outside of the Big 12, but I'm also not feeling okay about them, right? They're one of those teams that's sort of on that fringe, like Baylor is, really like all of the 8 are at this point in time. But, if I'm any of those folks, as you mentioned, then, I'm having a serious, heart-to-heart with Bob and telling him, hey, man, get us through this next wave, and then we'll see what happens. But I'm making a change. I don't care what he does. I don't care if he brings in, barring him bringing in like half the Pac-12 dynasties and like making the move of all moves, which is totally unrealistic. Barring that, I think he's got to ultimately go. Not right now, because, again, there's too many moving parts, and to make a commissioner move at this stage. I mean, what's a commissioner walking into? Who would want that job right now? Hey, come join this conference that may or may not exist past the next few months or the next few years. I don't know how that would be really ideal for anybody. You just stick with them. I think you let it be known that, hey, this is not cool how this has occurred, or this is not the way that we should be, on the backside. Like, we shouldn't be so far behind the 8 ball. Like, that's just inexcusable. We shouldn't be so caught off guard. I understand everybody was caught off guard with Oklahoma and Texas, but just in general, the Big 12's always caught off guard. They are the least forward-thinking conference in the entire country, and I think that no matter what, you let him save face by saving what he can, and then you very graciously offer him like an analyst role type deal in the Big 12, but not the commissioner of the Big 12. You need somebody, you're not going to go just find Greg Sankey, but there's got to be some young mind or older mind out there who has a grip on TV, who has a grip on, just the way the future's heading, and get somebody with some forward thinking, because, again, that's what's cost them these last several years. But, yeah, he would not be long for me once he gets past whatever this next little wave is going to be.
What if he saves you and you end up in a pretty good spot and you remain Power 5?
Yeah,
that's fine. Again, but like I just said, he's not forward thinking enough. Okay, so you saved us now. So what are we going to wait for the next time you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and then we have like all of a sudden West Virginia and Oklahoma State announce they're leaving, and then we do this all over again? Because I feel like as long as he's at the head of the table, I can't expect a Tiger to change his stripes when he's 50-something years old.
69, isn't he?
Okay, 69, even more so. His stripes are permanent ink. I mean, they're not changing at all at this point. So he's not suddenly going to be creative and like having streaming deals on the, that's just not him. So I just think you got to get a new vision, because they've had the same vision. What has it done for them? It's done nothing. Like, what are we talking about? The Big 12's vision has been the same, and it's grown stale while everybody else has been making moves left and right, whether that's through TV deals or NIL or these alliances even. They're all doing something. And I do think some of it, like the alliance stuff, is kind of almost busy work that just looks like a big deal. It's not as big of a deal as it is. But the Big 12, meanwhile, Like, you wouldn't even know they have hands. They've been sitting on them so long. So that, to me,
Would it
is
have
where...
made any difference to you if yesterday they announced the alliance and the Big 12 was involved?
Hell yeah, it'd make a difference.
Yeah, it meant
Hell
that
yeah.
But
they're in it.
if it's really a bunch of nothing, then what?
But I mean, it still
You're
means
still
that they're
in the party.
involved. You're still at the
Okay.
party,
Yeah.
and you're involved. I'll also say this: like, you know, you got to have vision. You've got a vision for the conference. You also have to have to your point where, like, have you done all you can done? Yeah, do. And then
Right.
the, like, have you done all you can do? And he's probably done that at this point. And also, if I'm the Big 12 Conference and I'm going to send somebody into meetings with Greg Sankey, I'm going to have somebody that's going to tell Sankey, like, listen, Sankey, we know what you did, okay? We know now. We sat in these meetings together and we were planning a 12-team playoff and everything was great and hunky-dory. Meanwhile, you were stealing my 2 biggest teams.
And Greg Sankey would proceed to tell you to go,
Well, yeah,
you know
but
what,
like, but I would have somebody that would, you know, I'm not saying that. Look,
have a backbone.
have a backbone,
Yeah.
and be like, you know, and know that, listen, not to trust Greg Sankey anymore. You know,
I just think that, you know, the wool was so pulled over everyone's eyes. I can't blame Bob Bowlsby directly, but I do feel like he's been at this job for a while now. And some of the same things continue to happen, and some of the same frustrations continue to happen. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to find anybody that's going to go bow up to the other power conference commissioners, because, I mean, they basically are 1 foot away from just stomping the Big 12 to death anyways, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really threaten somebody who could completely in one fell swoop totally eliminate you. But they do need somebody, like I said, that's forward-thinking, and somebody with a little bit of some oomph to them, because I just don't think that there's anything to the Big 12 right now.